We came to Bursa for the history.
The spectacular views of the mountain, Uludag. Isn't it wondrous?
But we stayed for the people, the chaos, and the 700-year-old kebab that may or may not have changed our lives.
I don't know, probably not.
This is not your average Turkish travel video. This is Bursa, and we have no idea what we're doing.
Diarrhea, cha-cha-cha.
Welcome to the green city of Bursa, where ancient history, incredible food, and old silk bazaars lie at the foot of the mighty Uludağ Mountain. But more importantly for us, this is the birthplace of Iskender Kebabs. So let's explore this underrated gem here in Turkey. Let's check out Bursa. Just look at this perfection right here. You've got the history, you've got the Uludag. What more could you want? Oh, that's right. We need some breakfast. Right, everybody, so we made it to a real, proper, family-owned joint here for breakfast. We're gonna start the day off with Pideli Köfte, which Bursa is, believe it or not, known as the birthplace of Iskender Kebab. But Pideli Köfte is also a Bursa local food here. And we're gonna start it off right with a healthy 2 portions, so a portion each of Pideli Köfte, and it's basically like a kofta meatball dish. And this place that we're sitting in right here, it doesn't get much more proper than this. Very big Turkish flag hanging here, and the guy is an absolute gentleman, and you can tell that this place has quite a bit of age to it too.
And it also says upstairs only for family members. I just translated the sign because I was like, oh, do they have maybe more seating upstairs? But no, the family lives upstairs.
Upstairs is for family only, so this gentleman and his family literally live here, and this is where they serve their Pideli Köfte from. So family establishment, locally owned business. There's no better way to start the day off. I'm my mouth is starting to water already just thinking about this Pideli Köfte. And if you have a look, it is a real proper kitchen as well, so like old school kitchen. They have like the charcoal grill underneath that they're charring the bread, and they also use that to cook up the vegetables and the meatballs as well. Everything is on there. And then he has the sauce, tomato based sauce, that's slow cooking there as well. What a fantastic way to start the day off here in Bursa. Not the cleanest of mirrors, but there's definitely a lot of history behind these, I'd say.
I don't think it's dirty at all. I think it's just a really old mirror where the...
it's eroded off. You can tell that this place has quite a bit of history behind it, as character as well. I have no idea what these are, but different images and relics and stuff like that. Stuff probably from passed through generations of this family, literally just hanging on the wall. So it feels like we're literally sitting in this man's home, so it's fantastic. It doesn't get much better than this.
Only tomato sauce?
Yes. Oh.
Peppers.
Pepper. Oh, and this is oil.
Butter.
Butter. Ah.
Mineral butter. Wow. Special Bursa kebab. Mineral butter.
Butter, wow. Oh, you can smell the fat. Oh, wow. Çok güzel.
Super.
Super. Teşekkürler.
Merci.
Amazing. Wow.
Wow. Beautiful.
Hot.
Hot, okay. Teşekkürler.
Çok teşekkürler.
Merci.
What an absolute gentleman this guy is. And poured searing hot butter over the top. So there's plenty going on here. You've got a big dollop of yogurt, and that got hit with the butter as well, so that's dairy on dairy action right there. You've got the pide, which is Pideli Köfte, which is the meatball shaped kofta. So it's like loads of little, almost like kofta hamburgers. And then underneath you have the freshly grilled flatbread, chopped tomatoes, and then this green chili over the top as well.
Do you have that sometimes as well when somebody is like, be careful, this is hot, do not touch it? My brain is like, I need to touch it.
I need to grab it right now.
It's like when you have a button that says do not push, you're like, I'm gonna push that button.
Let's give the köfte a try. This
Here we
köfte
go.
with a little bit of yogurt and also that beautiful tomato sauce on top and the butter. Butter? Yes,
I thought it
please.
was oil he was pouring over, but it's literally just melted butter.
I think that might be what is over the Iskender kind of as well to top it off. The Iskender Kebab, they seem to be adding some sort of... I keep thinking it was oil, but it seems like it's butter. So it's kind of like Iskender... Oh my god, that's so tasty.
It's good, yeah.
That interrupted my train of thought entirely. Wow, that is beautifully tasty. You need to give it a try immediately.
So one of the biggest reasons that why we came to Bursa, there's a few reasons. So you have Uludağ Mountain, very important spiritual mountain for different religious folks. There's Orthodox Christians that it's important for. It's also important for Muslims as well. So very, very special spiritual place. We're hopefully going to be heading there today. Also, the food. And then the third reason is the history behind this place. So this is the burial of Sultan Mehmed. This is where he's buried. And this also was the first Ottoman capital. Look at this. I'm gonna just like coat the köfte in yogurt. Might cool it down a little bit. Oh my god. He's having a laugh. This guy is serious. Yeah, you can taste the butter. So fatty, just butteriness. It adds like a richness to everything. So usually like we've had plenty of köfte since we came to Turkey, but nothing like that so far, and that I think is because of that butter. It's just so rich and so like it almost adds like a density to it. And then the yogurt as well. I'm gonna have some of that, the bread as well. Just look at that. Like it doesn't get any better. Wow, so good.
Thank you.
Çok lezzetli, very tasty. You're the best köfte maker.
The best. In terms of taste, this is the best thing that we've tried so far since we came to Turkey. This is spectacular. And in case you guys think that this is a really dangerous spicy chili, it's not the case at all. It's actually just very refreshing. Adds like a freshness in it. A bit of a crunch, I guess. A little bit of freshness. And then everything else is just super rich, dense and heavy. Just this one plate, by the way, it's gonna be enough to fill you up for hours. And it's gonna fuel our adventure up to Uludağ Mountain as well. Oh, I'll tell you what, there's enough butter on these that I think it's kind of slowing me down a little bit, but it's all energy, I'm guessing. But I think for the next hour or so, I'm just gonna have to take a nap on the street or something. Look at that. The bread, the yogurt, the butter, everything. And it's literally just dripping. Oh, and I keep dropping stuff. Look at that. Teşekkürler. Teşekkürler.
Let's go.
The guy literally, he asked us if we wanted tea, and he was like, chai? We were like, yeah, iki tane chai. And then he gets on the phone and calls a guy from across the road to bring over a tray of tea. Only in Turkey.
The noise.
The louder, the louder you stir your tea, the tastier it's gonna be.
The louder you stir your tea, the
That's
more
my
likely
rule.
is Naomi to break them. That wasn't an English sentence. Ay, stop.
Teşekkürler.
Teşekkür ederim.
Thank you so much.
İyi günler. Yine bekleriz.
Görüşürüz.
İnşallah. Teşekkür ederim. İyi
Bye bye.
günler. Sağ olun.
What an absolute gentleman. So this is the place here. This is Dedenin Yeri Saray Kebapçisi.
The logo is underneath there.
Ah, yes. Teşekkürler.
Merci.
Bye bye, bye bye.
Bye.
What an absolute gentleman. So, legitimately the best food that we've had since we came here. Incredible price. So we arrived here, actually, believe it or not, in Bursa yesterday, and we went and had dinner, and we basically got ripped off. We paid like over 1,000 lira or something for very average kebab. But this gentleman here, wow. Real family-run business. Real down-to-earth guy. I believe that they are actually a family of sailors. So they had loads of anchors and different things around their restaurant. And yeah, couldn't be nicer. And both of those portions of the Pideli Köfte and the 2 waters was 520 lira. So, and we are full to the brim. 2 chais as well.
Oh.
So the 2 chais were
He didn't calculate them.
complimentary chais. You didn't even charge us for the tea. So couldn't be more happy with that for breakfast. And now we're all fueled up and ready to go on an Uludag adventure. Let's go to the ancient mountain of Uludag.
Bursa is called the Green City, by the way, for very, very good reason. As you can see, everything is green on this side, everything is green on that side, and the mountain over there is green as well. Now, I believe that has a lot to do with the Uludağ Mountain, because there's lots of natural springs around that mountain. If you ever do visit Turkey, nearly all of the bottled water that you can buy here is from the Uludağ natural springs. So that's where the water is from. Very good water, by the way. I like it a lot. Salad, anybody? Ooh, that looks like a serious bakery. Makes me want to go in immediately, but we still want to go to Uludağ Mountain. I don't really want to like carry an entire bread up and down the mountain. But wow, the size of the bread as well, the loaves. Looking very nice. Merhaba.
Thank you very much. Mama yaptık. Buyurun.
Teşekkürler.
Fresh. İçeride gel. Karus gel.
He wants to show you.
If you're coming out of the firin, out of the bakery, you can immediately get yourself some meat afterwards. Oh, çok güzel.
Nice.
Very tasty, probably. Lezzetli. Teşekkürler. People here in Bursa are very nice, like very sort of open. On the top you have restaurant. Oh, Iskender. Nice. Teşekkürler. There's a restaurant on top. Iskender.
Yeah, he's got
Which is like a barbecue.
I think he's
type
saying
place.
like you can pick the fresh meat and then you can bring it up to the restaurant and they'll literally freshly grill it for you. It's all like locally owned, family run restaurants with the best produce.
And people are extremely nice
Extremely
here.
friendly.
Like I do think that Bursa doesn't usually get so many foreign visitors, so when they realize that you're a foreigner, I feel like they're like super excited for you to try their food, to be there. Or sorry, nearly stepped on a cat. They're super excited for you to be there, and it's so nice. Are you a preu? Oh. You're petting the camera?
Look at that.
We were planning on walking up to telepheric, so up to the gondolas that would take us up Uludağ Mountain. But of course we were not thinking about how steep the journey was gonna be, so we were kind of walking for 20 minutes or so uphill, and then we were like, alright, that's enough uphill, and we just got into the bus. It's only like 29 TL per person. Careful. It's only 29 TL per person to take the bus up to the telepheric, and that without sweating and in the AC, so we chose to do that.
Well, we made it to the foot of the mighty Uludağ Mountain. We tried to walk, but that was too ambitious of us. We Tried to walk from where we had breakfast, and it was a good solid like 2.5-3 kilometers walk. And 2.5-3 kilometers walk sounds very easy on a normal day, but 2.5-3 kilometers uphill in 30+ degree weather, that's not so easy. Nonetheless, welcome to Uludag. Let's hop in one of these little boxes and fly up to the top. It's about 2,500 meters up at the summit, so reasonably high, and I can't wait to see the views once we get up there. Ooh, first cable car of Turkey. What do you know?
One?
Probably, I don't know.
It's the first one.
I think it was the first built one.
Okay.
It's also, I think, the longest cable car in Turkey. It's like 8.89 kilometers long, like about 30 minutes or so. So this should be enjoyable. I can't wait to just float through the air and take in the beauty of this part of the world.
This looks more like the original.
That looks like the original, yeah. Look at that thing. Wow. You've got the skis and all, because during the winter time you can ski on Uludag. Now, I've never done that before. I've never had enough money to go and ski or snowboard, unfortunately, but I'm sure it's drop dead gorgeous here during the winter.
So for a round trip of the teleferic, of the cable cars, it's 950 tele per person. We were also asked if we wanted to have a private car, but we're the only people here.
In we go!
In we go!
In you get there now! Woo! I'm excited. And by the way, according to ChatGPT and Google and loads of other sources online, what we paid is the tourist price. So keep in mind, if you're Turkish, it's probably going to be less than what we paid. There's no prices listed on the front of it, and that's probably the reason why, unfortunately. But we know, we have access to stuff online. But check this view out. Woo, baby! That's beautiful. So the history of Uludag is quite fascinating. This was, believe it or not, known as Mount Olympus of Mysia, and it was also known to be home to tons of Byzantine monks back in the day. And there's a lot of stories about this mountain in ancient Greek mythology and stuff like that as well. Now, I'm not too overly knowledgeable about that stuff. This is just based on my research, and it's one of the many reasons why we wanted to go up here. The main reason simply being for the freaking views that we're going to get.
And the spring water.
And the spring water, yeah, there's lots of springs around here. And look at that. If you have a look down, you can see the residential areas of Bursa and the foothills of Uludag. Wow, many mosques and different buildings as well, and a lot of them are very, very traditional style Turkish houses. And we couldn't have a clearer day. It is July, which is crazy how fast this year has gone by, but we could not have asked for better weather. And this, believe it or not, can hold up to 8 people, but there's only 2 of us in here, so I already feel like we're a little bit too much. But this is gorgeous. I'm blown away, by the way, with just how lush and green this is. It is not raining, there's no moisture in the air, there's very little humidity whatsoever, but it is just thick green forest. Yeah, there's some parts of it like directly underneath here that are very dry, but in general the majority of this mountain is quite literally just overrun with green, dense trees and forest.
And it's not only pine trees as well. Usually I would kind of assume that it's all pine trees, but it's not in this case here at all. There's a good mix of trees.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And once we get up, we're gonna have some real spectacular views. Even from here, we're not even that far up at the moment, and look at Bursa. All of the houses down there have the white topped roofs, so it gives it like almost like just a real sort of added magic to it, because it looks like they're almost like loads of little tiles that are way down below, and it just makes it very special looking. Usually if you get like a panoramic view over a city or whatever, you have loads of skyscrapers in different shapes and colours, and everything sort of just smashes against each other. But here, that's not the case. It's very cool.
Oh my god! Look at how magical it is! The spectacular views of the mountain Uludag. Isn't it wondrous?
Wonderful.
Wondrous! Wow! The wind is picking up a lot, and I am cacking my pants right now.
Cacking?
I'm terrified of heights, and the wind is really properly picking up here. And we have like this valley that's cutting through. And we're about to go up now towards the highest part, and yeah, just have a look at that. So this is the valley, and this is me pooping my pants.
I could take a nap. It's beautiful around here though.
It is gorgeous. That's why I was trying to put on my... What's that guy that does the National
David
Geographic?
Attenborough.
David Attenborough.
Now we are at the station called Sarialan, and I do believe that we have to change cable cars here in order to go further up. Teşekkürler. So we're gonna exit. Ooh, they have a little bit of a bazaar market situation going on. Hello. Going on up here. This is the Haribo market. Wow. They have so many tourist facilities around here, even though I feel like I haven't really seen that many people. Maybe on the weekends it's a little bit busier here, or even specific times in August or so, when a lot more people are in and around Bursa, a lot more tourists, I suppose. But well, there's some people around. Not the amount of people though that would call for the amount of markets around here. But I'm sure you can buy very, very nice clothes and food and ice cream and all that jazz.
Right. So it appears this is the end of the line, because we're outside of the winter season. So usually the teleferic would continue all the way up towards the top, and that is where all the fancy pants resorts are, and that's where you can do your skiing and your snowboarding and probably break your legs if you're me. But we're not going to get the chance to go up there because it's summertime, and unfortunately inside the building, when you come off of the teleferic, it's just basically loads of people hassling you, trying to sell you overpriced ice cream and pictures that they took of you and stuff like that. So I think what we're gonna do is just go for a little bit of a walk, because the weather's gorgeous and I'm sure there's some walking to be done around here, and it is just so green, picturesque and beautiful. And I think there's loads of different little Turkish villages and mountainside places that we can probably check out, and then we can make our way back down whenever we want, because we have the round trip ticket that we overpaid for. So let's go and check it out.
Jesus, you make it sound really appealing.
It is actually very beautiful.
It's very nice up
the,
here.
the teleferic ride itself was drop dead gorgeous. It's just a little bit on the touristy side, but that's expected. Now this is what we are looking for. This is what we're talking about. This is the reason why we came up here. Have a look. So this, believe it or not, is like a campground. And check out this. You've got like barbecue pits that have been used God knows how many times by how many thousands of different people over the last God knows how many years. But it's all set up for you right here, and you're literally just in the middle of this dense forest. up on Uludağ Mountain. This is exactly why we came up here, to get a little bit of connection with nature. It's been a long time that we've been floating around big cities in different parts of Asia, and we have been craving this. This is beautiful, to be able to just go
and be allergic to the trees.
Oh yeah,
Hachi.
Naomi is allergic to basically everything, but
it's really nice to see. You can actually drive your car up here, I believe, as well. You can see some local people doing it, and lots of people kind of bring their own barbecues, or they're using these facilities that are provided to just barbecue up here and then basically sit in the forest and enjoy. Yeah. The only thing that I do want to say around here is, if you do barbecue, over there is a big bin. Just throw all of your plastic in the bin and it would be a lot nicer.
There's a lot of trash that's just kind of been thrown around here. Just even throw it in the fire would be an easier way of getting rid of it.
There's bins everywhere provided.
There's bins everywhere, yeah. Have a look at this.
Gypsy cedar.
Someone perfectly drew a bear into this tree.
And the part of the tree here looks kind of like a sun.
Yeah.
But it's just part of it.
How cool is that? But yeah, come on people. You're in nature. And there is quite literally like loads of bins, and if you don't have a bin, like I said, just light a fire and just burn the stuff. But all in all, this, like I said, is the exact reason why we wanted to come up here. They have like a place over here on this side where they're just blasting like pop music and people are drinking tea. That's nice too. Yeah. It's like restaurants and stuff. So if you don't bring your own food, you can go and eat whatever you want up there. I'm sure it's 10 times more expensive than it is down at the bottom of the city, because they obviously have to bring the produce up, so that will drive the prices up. But this is bloody beautiful area, really gorgeous.
Walking around here though, it does smell a little bit like goat here and there, so I'm sure that they actually do produce maybe some dairy products, maybe some meat products or something like that. Up here you can really see that there are people who do occupy this area all year round, and I assume that they have some sort of facilities to actually care for the tourists and care for themselves.
Just look at how inclusive it is up here as well. They have a table built for hobbits. But this table legitimately doesn't even come up to my knee. That's mad. Probably for kids. Very nice. Found the most comfortable seat in the house.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh, so athletic.
I'm so strong.
So athletic, whoa. Oh. Oh. What do you reckon? You think we can go down this? By the way, what a way to build a slide.
Would you not get
You go full force into the tree. Face first.
I know,
Go on.
I'm scared that it's gonna break off at the top.
Yup! Yo! Away!
I got a little stuck. Oh my god. Oh, it's also broken here on the side.
Yeah. Rusty nails everywhere as well.
No, it took...
Somebody say Hepsi! Right.
I think this one is a little bit wider.
There's a green slide over there. Naomi took the red one, I'm going to take the green one. This one doesn't go into a tree, so I think I'm less likely to die. Let's give it a shot. Broken. It's also not broken, for the most part.
Time to fly to the kids with your bunker.
Let's have it. Ah! And this here It's one of the cool things about this part of the world. Fresh water. Look at that.
Diarrhea, cha-cha-cha.
Oh, I'm sure it's totally fine. But yeah, very cool. Like literally probably fresh spring water straight from this mountain. So it doesn't get much better than that. You can also fill up a bottle, but we didn't bring one.
Yes, we did.
Or did we? Hey!
Daddy!
Recycle, reuse, retarded.
Rikiki!
Yabani Hayvan Chikabalur.
There's signs everywhere telling you not to wander around because it's apparently dangerous. It looks like they have bears and wolves on Uludağ Mountain. That would be something for a YouTube video, no?
Yeah, getting eaten by a bear.
Get eaten by a bear.
Talk about getting views. Woo. Well, there's no freaking shortage of beautiful nature out here, I'll tell you that much. This is spectacular.
If you walk away from the barbecue sites just a little bit, like it's not really that far, it's probably just about 200 meters this way. If you're really quiet, you can still hear the people. It gets real desolate and beautiful and quiet very, very quickly. Now I know you're not supposed to wander around here. Oh, it looks like there's still some machinery going on up here. But this is exactly what I love about Turkey so much. If you just walk away into nature for like 200 meters, you get the most beautiful experience that you've ever had. Insane how beautiful things are around here. Now somebody harvested a mushroom and left it here. And there's also water running out. Of course there's also garbage. But the water is running freely around here. Beautifully cold. Tastes good.
Tastes good.
Still, because we've been in Asia for so long, I'm so scared of just running water. It's
always terrified.
insane.
Terrified of running water because of Asia. Ah, yeah.
That was a proper sip.
Tastes like listeria. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I think Luke had too much oxygen.
Brain-eating amoeba.
It's time for us to botulism. It's time for us to go back down because I think Luke had gotten too much oxygen and now he's all excited. So. It seems like he had a clown for breakfast, as you would say in German. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful around here. And you can see all of the new growth. I know this is a very like niche interest, but I find these things so beautiful when you can see the beautiful tips that are just newly grown that just came in. Stunning. And there's so much moss on the trees here as well. It's like the entire tree is fuzzy.
Now in the early Byzantine era, Uludag was a spiritual escape for Christian hermits, and dozens of monks built monasteries and stone cells deep within the forests of Uludag. And there's actually a story that says that one of these monks fasted in silence for 40 years.
He must have hated society.
He must have hated people. I'm getting to that point in my life where I think I might do that. And apparently he only broke his silence once, and that was to basically bless a lost traveller that was making their way through the mountain. Cool bit of story for you. But yeah, 40 years without food, 40 years without speaking. Sounds awful, also not, because the peace and the nature up here takes you in. It is spectacular. You fancy a swim?
No.
No?
There's lots of tadpoles though.
Doesn't look like the most inviting pond. But this, that's inviting.
You know that scene from Lord of the Rings where the dead faces are coming up out of the water?
Oh, Lord of the Rings, yeah.
That's kind of what I imagine here.
Yeah, true. It's like the dead faces float up and then they pull you into the water and then you disappear. And then they steal the ring from you. The sound of hepatitis. Time to say goodbye.
You really need tickets.
You're not getting in with us, mate.
You really need tickets for a private gondola.
Yeah. If they offer you a private gondola, say no.
Maybe if you do come in August, like during winter season or something like that.
It's July now.
It's the 3rd, I think, of July right now.
It's not that busy.
It really isn't.
We're gonna make our way down to the bottom now.
Time for Iskender.
It's time for an Iskender Kebab. And also have a little bit of a look around Bursa city itself. That didn't sound good. Quite a charming city though, so let's check it out.
We're gonna get catapulted now.
Ooh, let's go! Yay!
You need to raise your arms.
Let's go!
Oh, you can see the football stadium. As we can, you cannot. Uludağ Mountain overall, very much a worthwhile experience. Very, very beautiful up there. Nice temperature as well. I think if it's very, very hot down in Bursa below. Very loud bus! And you just want to cool down a little bit, you can go up Uludağ Mountain. Do be aware though that the vendors are a little bit pushy. I just don't look at anything and I just keep walking regardless of what happens, and that's the way I deal with these types of situations. But if you want to buy something, of course have a look around.
Gonna jump on a Turkish bus, head back to the center. Buses are really handy, by the way, in Turkey. You literally can just get on with your debit card. You tap your card. And that's it. Just like that. Like 10 minutes on the bus. And we made it slap bang to the center of Bursa. So let's go for a bit of a walk around here and check out the city. And we'll work up a bit of appetite so we can have ourselves the legendary Iskender
In the place of
Kebab.
Iskender.
In the place where it comes from, yeah. Say the 1 for the money, the 2 for the show, 3 days ready now, 4 do.
The Turkmobile.
Such a cool car. The Turkmobile 5000. The Hochgelden is 3000. Wow, whose house is this?
Your mama's.
Someone had a lot of money. Someone with a lot of cash. Great location as well. Slap bang in the center of Bursa.
Looks like it might be the city council.
Possibly, yeah. Let us know in the comments what it is. It's bloody massive. We're gonna go and check out the Bursa Grand Bazaar. And this whole area here seems to be kind of like the old quarter of Bursa. And just go for a walk and check the place out. So far, the vibes here in Bursa, very laid back, very chill, kind of similar in many ways to Eskişehir here, but I'm gonna be entirely honest, I prefer Bursa so far. Just seems to have a little bit more of a liveliness to it, more happening, more things to see, more history, and the food is unbelievable. Look at that. That's beautiful. Now, Eskişehir food, the Pideli Köfte and everything, that was unbelievable as well, but I feel like Bursa is just a little bit more our speed.
Bursa Grand Bazaar. Kind of similar enough, not really, but similar enough to Istanbul Grand Bazaar in the sense of that you can buy lots of gold here, lots of clothing, kind of fake handbags, suits, And down there you can see all of the gold left and right. And it's about the same amount of busy as well. There are so many people around here, it's actually crazy. I really wonder if you might be able to get better prices for your goods here comparatively to the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, because as beautiful as the Grand Bazaar is in Istanbul, it is somewhat of a tourist trap if you don't know how to negotiate. If you know how to negotiate, you're gonna be fine in any Grand Bazaar, but for us it's always a little bit difficult, so we were kind of like, we're not gonna buy anything.
Yes, everybody, welcome to Koza Han in the center of Bursa, and this here is a historic silk market, and it's known for the Ottoman architecture, and you can see it in the way it's built. So this is the entry point here, the big beautiful Turkish flag hanging up there as well, and it's nice. There's multi-levels to it, so there's lots of layers, and you enter in here and you're basically met with a big square, and everybody is just chilling, drinking their chai, smoking cigarettes, having a good old time. And like I said, it's shaped like a perfect square around here, so you can go up to the second level. It's almost like a really old shopping mall basically, so a lot of history, a lot of interesting things going on.
Second chai of the day. This time around we are inside of Koza Han. They have this beautiful square here where you can drink a chai, and the chai is actually not too expensive. I kind of thought, because it's a little bit more on the tourist route, that it would be a lot more, but it's actually only like 30 TL per chai, which is totally fine. And I kind of feel like you haven't had a real proper day in Turkey without having at least 3 chais per day. If not, maybe 4, but 3 is like the bare minimum. So this is our second one, and then probably after dinner we're gonna have the third chai of the day. Funnily enough, because Bursa also lies on the Silk Road, you can actually find lots and lots of products here that are very similar to the other parts of the Silk Road that we explored this year already. For example, in Xi'an in China, you can find the exact same scarves down here, because obviously they are all transported or imported from China, from Iran and so on. So it's very, very interesting to be finding those same products that we already admired so much in China.
You can really see and feel the history here in Bursa. Bursa lies on the northwest of the Silk Road, and it's a major city that connects inner Anatolia and the Middle East to Istanbul and into Europe. So an incredibly important place historically for transporting very important things towards Europe and from Europe towards Asia. Well guys, since we're in the founding place of Iskender Kebab, we came to the place where it all began apparently. So this is here since 1867. This establishment has been here, and this is where Iskender Kebab actually comes from. So let's give it a shot. We've walked the legs off ourselves here in Bursa. It's a very walkable city, very enjoyable city to walk in, but we're absolutely starving now, so let's check this kebab out.
Made it inside the birthplace of the Iskender Kebab. Now everything around here seems to be very proper, very fancy. Even the waiters are wearing white jackets. Looks super nice. And I'm actually really looking forward to trying the Iskender Kebab. Just a thing beforehand, I'm currently looking at the menu. The prices are also proper. 795 Turkish lira for one portion which is, I believe, maybe 16 euro or so.
Pricey.
16, 17 euro, something like that for one portion. We're gonna try it anyway, keep an open mind, see how it tastes, and then we're gonna let you know shortly what it's like.
Now, I've had ayran a few times since we've been here. It's the proper, real way, like the most addictive drink in Turkey. Everybody drinks it. Like, if you're having a dirham, if you're having a kebab, if you're having whatever, it's usually accompanied by an ayran. But this is my first time seeing it like this, where it's not in a little cheap sort of plastic container. They literally poured me out like a sort of like 3/4 of a pint glass of ayran. So this is probably some really good stuff. I have the milk mustache. Oh, that is seriously good. Really, really thick, fatty, full of flavor.
Nearly a bit cheesy.
You can literally taste the animal that came out of. Literally, it's gamey.
It's like you're licking a cow.
It's gamey. Oh, that's good. Somebody must have been on a pretty heavy dose of illicit substances to have made that. Look at that. Mad looking. Very cool though. The whole sort of way that this restaurant looks, you can see like it's really dates back to quite a long time ago, like literally the late 1800s. So it's obviously been refurbished since then here and there, but you can feel the history in here.
Ooh, that looks very, very nice. But I think we're gonna have to wait for the butterman. Oh, there's the butterman. Hello. Oh. Oh my god. Thank you. Teşekkürler. The butterman. Let's give the Iskender Kebab a try where the Iskender Kebab originated. Because we can, that's why. We're just gonna have a slice of meat dipped into that beautiful dollop of yogurt, and if I tell you something, let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
The saliva in my mouth is literally accumulating. Let me tell you something. That is very nice. Strange. I thought it would taste more like butter because that butter smelled very, very intensely when the butterman came past.
The butterman.
The butterman. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's not. Surprisingly, the flavors are not too strong.
Yeah.
Like I thought that you would have like very, very pronounced sort of in-your-face type of flavors. It's not that. It's good though. Like it's very, very good. But it's not too much in your face.
I have some salt on standby because Naomi said that it needs a little bit of salt. So whatever, let's give it a go. This is where it all comes from apparently. So I'm gonna have the green chili and the meat. Oh yeah, it's very good. The meat in terms of flavor, it's like very, very like slim cut, so like thin, and very, very tender too. And in terms of like the texture of it, it's like it's very different to what we usually are expecting when we have like a kebab. It tastes more like rustic, I guess you could say. Obviously pricey because this is where it literally originates from. So that's the whole reason that it pulls people in. And there's quite a lot of people that are coming in and out of here right now as well. It's starting to get busy. When we first came in, we were like one of the only people in here, but now it's starting to get a little bit busier now, so I can see why. It's sort of like, I guess, you know, if you go to like the place where the hamburger originates from, like the original restaurant where it comes from, or the place where pizza comes from, or wherever, you're gonna expect to pay a little bit more, but it's not the best thing that I've ever tried. I'm gonna be honest, the breakfast that we had earlier today blows this out of the park. but this is fantastic as well. You can't really go wrong with Turkish food in many instances. Very rich flavour off of the meat, and like I said, it tastes very rustic. But the price of it, a little bit crazy. It's good though.
Of course, with the elevated price and the elevated reputation, because this is the origin point, you kind of expect, like, you have really, really high expectations. Whereas when you go somewhere and you know nothing about the place and you are spending very, very little amount of money, you don't have any expectations. So that's kind of why we are a little bit more critical, I suppose, to this place in comparison to other places.
That's true. We paid like literally less money for the two things that we had, the two dishes that we had, plus everything we drank. We paid less this morning for breakfast than we're paying for just one of these portions. So keep that in mind. This is very good though. It's not bad. This though, in terms of ayran, is the best ayran that I've had so far. This thing is thick. Just this alone is probably enough to fill me up. Well, we're broke now.
It's a struggle. Why is he not coming out? Come out. Third chai of the day. It's kind of like...
It's religion here.
Kind of like a late lunch what we're having right now. It's currently 5 p.m, so I guess it's somewhat lunch and dinner at the same time, so maybe brunch or something. That doesn't make any sense. It's okay. Yeah, I did have a stroke actually. The waiter had warned us 15 times that we're gonna hit our heads on the shelves that were behind us, and Luke actually hit his head, and I also did hit my head on the way out, so I already had a headache and kind of out of dehydration. Now I have even more of a headache. That's alright though.
Full tummy, empty wallet and brain damage.
All of it. We got served.
At a cost to try the original Iskender Kebab, 2 portions, 1,700 Turkish lira, and that's including 1 ayran and 1 su. Huh?
I had 2 waters.
And 2 waters and 1 ayran. 1,700 lira, so it's about 36 or 37 euro. That's a hefty price to be paying. But in terms of the portion and how filling it is and stuff like that, it will fill you up. Just be prepared to pay a little bit more. There's plenty of other spots around Bursa where you will pay like quite literally half of that price, and I'm sure that you'll get similar quality, similar taste, etc. It's more just about the fact that you're trying the original one, I think. But nonetheless, good experience. We have ate an unbelievable amount of butter today. Breakfast this morning was like a whole pan of butter that was dumped over, and then dinner
Look at those watermelons.
was a whole pan of butter. Look at the size of them watermelons. So we had butter this morning and butter this evening, so I can feel my chest shouting at me to stop having so much butter. But nonetheless, we're going to make our way back towards our accommodation. So we need, believe it or not, to walk some more, even though we already have like 10,000 steps today.
I do think though it was worth the experience. So going there one time, I do think it was worth going and just kind of trying it out for yourself. Would I go again? I don't know, probably not. I would go again to the breakfast guy that we went to this morning though, because that was insanely tasty. I would go there in a heartbeat.
I'd buy an apartment next to where he is, just so I could have breakfast there every day. Look at the cat.
Oh, hello. Excuse me, sir.
Hello.
Is this okay? Oh, what is this?
No, it's stuck in its leg.
Does that hurt? Do you need help with this? No? You don't need help?
It's like a little Black Panther.
Oh, he's gonna slide down the car.